6-6. Can they keep King's big people off the boards and prevent that fast break? That's the key. That's the key for Christ the King.
Meanwhile, the King Jaguars have a lot of pressure on their shoulder as the #1 team in the nation. Last night in that slowdown game, Jamie Brandon did not score up to his average, only 12 points. What about tonight?
Well, I think you can construe that as a positive. Jamie wasn't ready to play last night. He did admit that. The ball club wasn't ready to play. He is a legitimate first-team All-American player. He is the best guard to come out of the Chicago area since Isaiah Thomas. I look for him to have a big game tonight and for King to have a big game.
What about perhaps a secret key for King tonight?
Well, a secret key would be Rashard Griffith. If he can cut down on the penetration of the Christ the King guards by blocking some shots, it'll change the complexion of the game.
All right, get set. It is Chicago against New York in the championship game of the first ever Windy City Classic right here from the UIC Pavilion. Coming up, the starting lineups right after this. Channel 5's coverage of the 1989 Windy City Classic is brought to you in part by your local Coca-Cola bottler and Sprite. By Soft Sheen, makers of New Sport and Waves High Five and proud to sponsor the Windy City Classic. And by Puma Athletic Shoes, on the court, on the street, on the field, at a store near you. And by Wilson Sporting Goods, makers of the official basketball of the Windy City Classic. And by your Chicagoland Amoco dealer. Amoco, expect more from a leader. And by the Sheraton Plaza Chicago, proud to be the official headquarters hotel for the 1989 Windy City Classic.
To give your high top more snap and more pop. Just bring it alive with new Sport and Waves. High five. It's a gel that works 5 ways. That's what it's all about. Makes hands soft for easy comb out. Conditions and controls like you've never seen. No greasy feel, just long-lasting sheen. So pump it up and bring your style alive with new Sport and Waves. High five. Get new High Fives moisturizing control gel and try new Spray Shine too.
I like the way you make me laugh. I like the funny things you do. You got a style that's all your own. I like the pride in you. You make me wanna smile. You know you make me sparkle too. You're such a kick to have around. Rebound, gamble is good.
Be spoiled tonight here at the UIC Pavilion. Christ the King a year ago was 28-1, the city and state champs in New York and ranked #3 in the nation, while King went downstate to Champaign and went and finished 3rd place. Now let's go to the public address announcer for the introduction of tonight's lineups.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the championship game of the first annual Chicago Sun-Times Windy City High School Basketball Classic from the UIC Pavilion. Tonight's championship game features Christ the King High School from Middle Village, New York, and Martin Luther King High School of Chicago. And now the lineups. First for the visiting Royals at Christ the King High School, beginning with the non-starters. A 5'8", 165-pound senior, number 10, Joe Risico. A 5'10", 180-pound junior, number 11, Eric Nauman. A 6'2", 208-pound senior, number 15, Eric Butler. A 6'4", 190-pound senior, number 21, Chris Filer.
We seem to be having a technical problem in picking up the stadium public address announcers, so right now they are introducing the non-starters for the Royals of Christ the King. They'll be wearing the home white uniform this evening. Christ the King ranked number 7 in the junior.
Number 34, Greg Smith.
Greg Smith, number 34, now being introduced. 6'4", 205, a junior.
Number 35, Rob.
And this is Rod Shomig, 6'2", 210, a senior, wearing number 35.
And a 6'3", 180-pound sophomore, number 41, Rich Viteri.
And here is Rich Viteri, a 6'3", 180-pound sophomore.
Now the starting lineup.
He'll be one of the first to come off the bench for King tonight.
At one guard, a 6'3", pounds.
You are watching the Windy City Classic. We are experiencing audio difficulties at this time. Please stand by. We are having audio difficulties at this time. Please stand by. You are watching the Windy City Classic. We are having audio difficulties. Please stand by. You are watching the Windy City Classic. We are having audio difficulties. Please stand by.
In the first half, and that is, we are playing halves tonight instead of 8-minute quarters as traditional in high school. We are playing 16-minute halves as an experiment requested by the National Federation of High School Athletic Associations. Also, you see, we have a 45-second shot clock and 3 foul shots when attempting a 3-point shot, a 3-minute overtime as well in tonight's championship game. The 16-minute halves so far in the tournament, Taylor, have worked out very well, I feel.
It's been marvelous. I don't think the kids even notice. If you ask them whether they're playing 8-minute quarters or what, I don't think they'd know. It's made for very much entertainment, moving the game along very smoothly.
And King will get the ball.
And, of course, the 45-second shot clock, we've only had one instance in 12 games where that clock has been a factor.
That shot clock is something I think you'll see down the road in every high school game.
And I also think you'll see the 16-minute halves not too far down the road. Out front, that's Keith Johnson. Price the King opens in a zone. They go down on the block to Selvey. He can't bank it in. He crashes the boards, gets it back and scores, and he's fouled.
You know, Tom and Taylor, good things happen for King when Johnny Selby gets the ball in the low post in a scoring situation. He didn't hit the original shot, but he had great rebounding position, and their baseline was just so tough. You see him get the easy putback here, and it's a three-point possibility now.
And we, of course, called at the beginning, we were talking about the rebounding. This is the last thing Bob Oliva wants to see is for King to start dominating on the boards right away with something like that.
Sherwin Content charged with the foul. Selby misses the free throw, and McNulty has control for Christ the King.
And King shot 10 of 23 yesterday from the free throw line. That's an area they can't do that tonight and expect to win.
McNulty was going out of bounds, and he threw it right in to Rashard Griffith. So the pressure put on by King pays off an early dividend. King with a 2-0 lead. Keith Johnson, a 6'2 senior. A heady quick ball player who can also dunk it. Just about any athlete on that King team out there can dunk the basketball. Rashard Sharif, Ahmad Sharif from the baseline gets his first two.
Well, you can figure that Christ the King's going to be keeping a close look on Jamie Brandon. That's going to leave Sharif open for that kind of shot.
From the baseline, Khalid Reeves. It's his first shot, and that's a good sign for Bob Oliva's Royals.
Well, Khalid Reeves headed to the University of Arizona to play for Lute Olson. An outstanding player, a legitimate top 25 player nationally. I just think tonight you're going to see why Jamie Brandon is a top 5 player.
4-2, King leads over Christ the King. Ahmad Sharif out at the point. Over to Brandon on the wing. Drives on Hospodarek. Hospodarek all over him. They don't get a 5-second call on defense. Brandon pulls up. Air ball. And Khalid Reeves brings it down court. On the drive, he's fouled by Johnny Selby. First foul for King. Watch the drive again as you see Reeves pick up the tempo and almost high-step his way to the baseline.
You know, I talked to Landon Cox today, and he said Reeves gets so many points because he's so heady, taking it to the basket, slashing, finding the gaps. That's what they had to do to make sure he did not get easy layups. There was Johnny Selby getting back but committed the foul.
Getting a piece of that was Sharif as Reeves wanted to pull the trigger on the baseline. The Royals will bring it back out front. McNulty. Out it goes to Derek Phelps. Now Reeves. His three-pointer blocked. He gets it back and takes it to the hoop. Oh, what a play by Khalid Reeves. Great presence of mind.
Great move. Great anticipation. He knew just where that ball was, didn't lose track at all.
Underneath. Before the dish-off. And after the pass, a foul.
Here comes that block on the three-point shot, but he's right there following right through. Comes right back for the basket. 2 baskets for Reeves.
Rashard Griffith had the opportunity there to make the block, and I think just fell asleep. Really wasn't ready. Didn't expect Reeves to come right back and take it to the hole.
You know, Christ the King shot 39 and 37% in their first 2 games. Still won by 26 and 23. They're going to have to shoot a little better than that tonight.
Brandon was charged with that foul at the other end. Reeves for 3. It's long. And a great fingertip rebound by Jamie Brandon. What great talent we see out on this floor this evening. You've got one player going to North Carolina, one going to Arizona, and the other going to Illinois. Sharif can't get it home. Phelps had the rebound, and it was knocked out of his hands by Brandon on the baseline, and Christ the King will keep the basketball. Bob Oliva, 5 of his 8 teams have won 20 games or more in a season. A former New York gym rat himself.
And played with former Loyola University Chicago star Corky Bell in high school.
12:55 to go in the first half. It's a 4-4 ball game. McNulty for the 3. And the easy rebound for Griffith.
That's the first shot taken by Christ the King that Reeves didn't take.
McNulty has yet to hit a 3-pointer in this tournament. Brandon short on his 3-point try from the wing. And King will keep the basketball.
You know, guys, right now, Jamie Brandon needs a basket to loosen up. He did not have a good game yesterday and definitely needs to get a basket to get himself going.
We've got a tie game, 12:38 left to go in the first half here in the championship game of the Windy City Classic on Channel 5. An even game, the shooting, as you might expect in a game of this intensity and tempo, not good early, Taylor.
No, they're obviously a little jittery, and even the tempo hasn't picked up as we thought it would, and the pressure. I think both teams, you got number 1, number 7, it's to be expected. They're really playing it close to the vest right up to this point.
Selvey gets the inbounds pass, dumps it down low to Griffith for the two-hand jam.
You know, Rashard Griffith just showed something there. He caught the pass and knew what he wanted to do with it. A lot of young kids will bring the ball down, put it on the floor. Griffith just slammed it home.
Content flips it over to Reeves, drives to the middle, dumps it off. It goes in for Content, and he was fouled. Griffith picks up the foul. That'll be his first.
Content shows a little bit of experience here. He fakes, gives a good pump fake, gets the freshman up in the air, then it's an easy hoop.
Third team foul for the Jaguars. Sherwin Content, a key man in the game tonight for the Royals of Christ the King. Missed 2 games prior to the tournament with an ankle sprain. He's a finesse player. You can look at his build. He's not a very strong player. Misses the three-point play try. Game is tied at 6. Keith Johnson. And the ball right into the hands of Khalid Reeves. Christ the King on the break, and Phelps with a left-hand layup.
There's that fast break that we saw so much of in the last 2 games by this team. They take it every chance they get.
Taylor, have you seen a tandem of the backcourt work so well like Phelps and Reeves?
Well, they're called the best pair of guards, high school guards in the country, and they certainly have shown it in this tournament.
Content the block. Christ the King on the break. Content fakes and scores. I thought he might have waited too long.
Well, Content is an outstanding athlete. He's being recruited by Division I schools, and looks like right now Fordham, Iona, and Manhattan, that's his final 3 choices. I think he could play maybe a little higher level.
A 4-point lead for Christ the King. 11:21 to go in the first half. Turnaround for Griffith. Follows Selvey, not enough. He's tied up. But a foul. They're going to call Reeves, who tried to get the held ball. Instead, he picks up the foul, his first, and that'll be the second for the Royals.
Well, this is, as I said, the key, because Christ the King just has to get on the board. Selvey misses one, and then he's surrounded. You notice how much Reeves and Phelps, despite the fact they're guards, they almost play like forwards because they go high on the boards all the time. Everybody hits the glass for Christ the King.
Johnny Selvey, 6'6" senior. He's 0 for 2 from the charity stripe tonight. In the tournament thus far, in 2 games, he has 31 points and 27 rebounds. He's 14 of 22 from the field in the 2 games. He missed them both. He's not used to shooting that far away. Brandon took it back in and got fouled.
Well, Jamie Brandon is a kid who can go inside, he can go outside. He's very good as a low post scorer when he posts a guard up. Here he shows some of his rebound skills. And right now, I don't believe that Christ the King's doing a very good job putting a body on someone, boxing out because they're not as big, and then going and getting the rebound.
Content picked up his second foul on the play, the third for Christ the King. On the 5th is when the bonus situation takes effect. Jamie Brandon gets his first point of the game. Taylor, he was one frustrated player last night by that sticky De La Salle defense.
That's right, very much so. And as David said earlier, he just needs a good three-point player, a basket here, to get himself going.
Johnny Selvey.
Big rebound.
I told you, he doesn't shoot free throws well. He's not used to shooting that far away from the hoop. Christ the King with the ball and a 1-point lead at 10-9. McNulty looking for his first 3 of this tournament, and that one woefully short. Ahmad Sharif brings it down, gives it up now to Keith Johnson. Johnson dishes to Griffith with a 2-hand stump.
Keith Johnson, an unsung hero. He's really stepped up and done a good job trying to give some leadership to this King team.
Those are high percentage shots.
Tremendous.
Derek Phelps had it poked away by Sharif. Here's Johnson on a 2-on-2. Sharif a bit off balance. The shot goes. It'll count.
Well, we just saw great athletic ability there by both those players. That's why Ahmad Sharif is a high major Division I player being looked at by schools in the Big East, the Big Ten, the ACC, you name it. He can play at that level.
Johnson making that big play, a big pass, and we saw last night he made a couple of good steals and a couple of good assists and a couple of key baskets in the second half to give a little breathing room and get King off ahead of De La Salle in that very close ball game.
McNulty got the foul, fourth team foul for Christ the King. Here's Ahmad Sharif, who may be the forgotten man on this basketball team with all those other big-name headliners. Selvey on the offensive boards. He has now got 6, and that's not a good sign for the Royals.
No, he's already got 4 rebounds, and he's just a horse in there. They've got to do something to try to get some room between him and, as David said, put something on him.
John Hospitarik is long for the 3. It's tipped out to Derek Phelps. Oh, what a move. Looking underneath for content. Brandon steps in front for the interception.
You know, that's 3 straight times now, guys, that King has missed a free throw but gotten the rebound for a putback.
Sharif misses from outside. And on the run, scooping the rebound, here is Khalid. Content! And it looked like Sharif got a hand in there, which...
A good foul by Sharif.
Yeah, knocked the timing off the play and kept Content from getting the easy 2.
There, King had one guy back, Jamie Brandon. Yesterday, Rich Central had nobody back.
In the first round game against Flint Central, King pounded the boards pretty well. 74 rebounds in a game. Some guys don't get that in a career. Sherwin Content now with 5 points. He's 1 of 2 from the free throw line.
You know, interesting little stat. Christ the King is the number 2 team in New York City, but they are the number 1 team in the state of New York. Go figure it out.
Similar situation with St. Monica's. They're ranked number 1 in California, but not ranked ahead of 2 other California teams by USA Today. Program. I'm sure a coach like that with the talent he's developed has had. Bachelor, I'm married to the game. King leading by 3. They'll take it the length of the court. Ahmad Sharif stops just shy of the midcourt line. And here's Keith Johnson. The pass deflected and stolen by Phelps. The lead for Eric Nauman, who's now in the ball game. Nice follow by Reeves. He didn't take anything for granted, even though Nauman, the 5'10 senior, had an apparently easy layup. Reeves took no chances and a nice follow-up. He's got 6.
Well, as Taylor said earlier, Christ the King will run at any opportunity. King is not getting back like they have to be successful defensively.
King averaging 77 points a game, held to 46 last night. Nice turnaround move in the paint for Jamie Brandon. His first field goal of the game. He's got 3.
Brandon moving into a different position there, cutting across the paint, trying to get loose, do anything he can to get that ball in.
Reeves forgot the basketball, and when Selvey took it away, Reeves reached back, and that was sort of a stupid foul.
Foul out of frustration, I think, a little bit, guys. Down here at the other end, Jamie Brandon caught the ball in the scoring area and just jumped up over people and stuck it.
Both teams now in the bonus. Landon Cox, I'm sure, telling Keith Johnson that when you lose the ball, you got to get back on defense quicker. Got to try to find some way of controlling that Royals break as Selvey gets his first free throw in 4 attempts in tonight's game.
Well, right now we're seeing the same kind of scenario that we did last night for King. Brandon struggling, the star of the team, but Selvey and Sharif are picking him up. There's other people on the floor picking up the slack.
Selvey with 8, and the Jaguars of King lead Christ the King 19-14. McNulty has been terrible from three-point range all tournament long. He tries to go down low to Content, tipped away by Rashard Griffin. His opponent, considering he's a freshman and can play like a freshman. Johnson lost the handle, and a very quick Derek Phelps beat him to the basketball. We got some quickness on in this court tonight. Here is Reeves missing the 3. Nauman with the long rebound. McNulty can't even get the easy layup to go. Stays with it and scores his first 2 of the game.
Well, that's got to give him a little confidence because, as we said earlier, he's got to do some work on the boards. As you said, he's not doing anything. The perimeter shot is not there for him. He's got to go inside and help on the boards.
He'll play a forward position on defense and a guard position on offense. Selvey can't bank it in. He likes to use the glass. Good hustle, getting it in the corner. Keith Johnson playing with that cloud of his eligibility hanging over his head. Soon to be resolved by the IHSA. The lob down on the post, and Griffith lost. Lose him. That'll be a devastating loss.
No question, it hurts quite a bit. I think Landon Cox has a lot of confidence in Fred Schofield, but he's very pleased with the contributions Johnson has made so far.
That shot blocked. Christ the King on a recruiting class. Dave Rader. 7 minutes to go in the first half. Jamie Brandon, one of that great crop that Lou Henson has signed in the November period, along with T.J. Wheeler, the 6'5" kid from Christopher, Illinois, and Scott Pierce, the 6'8" kid from Bedford, Texas. As Illinois' recruiting class, Dave Rader is one of the best in the nation.
Yeah, I've got it a top 5 class nationally. If they get Conzo Martin from East St. Louis Lincoln, that class can move up to top 3.
Of course, the Fighting Illini not playing too far from here in another tournament, a college tournament. A lot of holiday hoops going on in Chicago.
Basketball junkies dream, as they say.
Oh, this is a great time of the year. Nauman. He gets it to go home. First 3 of the game for either team. As Nauman breaks into the scoring column, and it ties the game at 19.
Well, this certainly isn't the game plan. Selvey has taken 6 shots and Brandon 3 up to this point.
Selvey muscles one to the hoop.
Well, as we said before, good things happen when Johnny Selvey catches the ball in the scoring area. There, he was never headed.
10 points.
Sherwin Content has it rejected by Selvey. Here's King on the break. Brandon jams a one-handed tomahawk over McNulty.
That was showtime, guys. Jamie Brandon knew what he wanted to do with it. A lot of frustration just went out with that jam.
We'll see if they'll be able to keep up on this and then take advantage of that big lift.
Here's Phelps for 3, trying to silence the crowd. Reeves has it corked back into space by Griffith, but the Royals keep it alive. Reeves in the tall tree scores.
Just a great athletic move, just great athletic ability there shown by Reeves, and just stick to it. He just wasn't going to give up that ball.
And a guy with a scorer's mentality knew how to get that shot off with the tall timbers around him.
Oh, was he a cool customer inside. Kings leads 23-21. Johnson at the point, down to Brandon. Stripped away by those quick hits.
That was showtime, and he got
down to Brandon. Stripped away by those quick hands of Khalid Reeves. Let's watch the Jaguars on the break.
I don't think there's any doubt of what he wanted to do with that ball from the time he got it.
Well, Jamie Brandon had one thing on his mind, and that was showtime, and he got it done.
High lob into Selvey. He takes it right back to the hoop. Gets it back. Misses. And picks up the rebound off the floor. I tell you, that's Selvey. He's a man against boys. He's a man against boys.
He's playing very inspired right now.
He's a kid who has something to prove to people, and this is an opportunity for him to do that.
The Royals keep the basketball. Eustace, Brandon, and Reeves trying to take control of this game.
There's a personal battle going on here, too. Both kids highly rated. Some like Reeves better, as Ron Brower does, and some like myself like Jamie Brandon better.
Content has it stuffed back in his face by Griffith, and the Jaguars get the basketball. There is some vicious play underneath the glass at both ends of the court tonight, guys.
We're seeing a college game. We are definitely seeing the intensity level, the skill, the rebounding, the physical play of a college basketball game.
Sylvester Ware, number 32, has checked in, a 6'6" junior, replacing Selvey. 4:48 to go in the first half. The Jaguars with the ball at a 2-point lead. Eric Nauman on Brandon, who pulls up and swishes one for 2.
You always can sense when Jamie Brandon is going to put that ball toward the hoop. You just sense he knows that's what he's going to do with it.
In one game in this tournament, he dribbled it in between his legs 3 times and calmly hit a 3. Reeves fouled on the shot. Championship game of the Windy City Classic as Reeves misses his first free throw attempt of the game. He has 8 points.
Lineup, we're seeing Sonny Cox establish something. He used to go to Damian Porter, 6'9", 260. I think he wants to combat some of the quickness and be able to get back a little better defensively in transition.
Approaching the 4-minute mark. Johnson a bit out of control, lost it on the dribble. Nice lead by Phelps for McNulty to Reeves for the 2. Great teamwork.
Always anxious to take that break whenever they possibly can take it. Just one flip pass and they're 2-3-on-1.
Last year, Christ the King had 5 Division I prospects on their state championship team. Brandon from the baseline. It was deflected and hit off the side of the backboard.
Never.
To talk things over.
Move down, y'all.
Move down. In fact, usually in high school, you don't get a full 60.
Landon Cox is a man of few words in a lot of situations. He doesn't scout opponents, for one thing.
No, I asked him today, I said, what do you think of Reeves and Phelps? He said, I haven't seen him. We'll just take care of business, and if we play the game we can, we should have no problem.
Reeves and Selvey, both 10 points each up to now.
Selvey still in midair. Losing the handle momentarily was Derek Phelps.
Actually, Selvey's missed 6 shots. He could almost have 20 points at this point if he was on target.
Eric Nauman firing it right through the hands of
guy.
Turnovers about even thus far in the game. 3:15 to go in the first half. Brandon double teamed. Free throw line jumper by Ware, no good. Rebound Sharif, and he took it to the hoop. He had a wide open lane and took it to the hole strong for his 6th point of the ball game, and King with a 4-point lead.
You know, there the defense was so conscious of Jamie Brandon in a double team situation. Ball comes off weak side, and there's no way anybody's going to stop it.
Content had to alter his shot, then try to dish it off. He was able to find Reeves. Phelps with a ball fake. Now just trying to regroup. When King gets back defensively, they can put some tenacious pressure on top of you.
And cause great problems with their shot blocking ability.
Content faked 3 times before he put it up. And now Selvey rakes down the rebound.
And like we saw yesterday, very quick hands on defense, something you don't notice as much sometimes.
Brandon misses the 3, and Ware is fouled. Inside, with him out of there, no way can they match up with him. The skip pass across the top of the defense over to Nauman. Boy, did Sharif get high in the air in Nauman's face.
Little intensity there.
Great athletic ability on the start. Selvey, the nice late pass, blows the jam. Lobbed out of the block to Selvey. Too hard off the glass. Nice follow for Jamie Brandon. He now has 9.
He's not a big scorer, but he can dominate games in other ways. That's why he's headed to North Carolina.
And he has that talent to know when to drive, when to give it up. And now that is 2 Christ the King players in foul trouble as Phelps picks up, check that, Reeves picks up his 3rd foul.
One shot.
King modeling the new style uniforms for us tonight.
I was waiting for somebody to bring up the bicycle shorts.
The football, the short football pants.
Look like joggers to me.
I'm not a big fan of these uniforms either, guys.
But now Christ the King has a real problem. Their biggest man is off the floor, and their big scorer is off the floor.
Fortunately for Christ the King,
Only 30 seconds.
exactly, the last minute of play, as they trail by 7. Right now, they would like to pick up the final points of this half and regroup at halftime. McNulty on the drive. He has been cold this tournament. And then
hard-nosed kid.
Ten seconds left, and the Jaguars lead by 6. Brandon, a little behind the back move, comes up firing short. Selby tips it in.
Well, there's the player.
Taft, I think that the
Some putbacks, and you know, Johnny.
In terms of King, have the folks seen the best basketball that King can put out on the court?
No, definitely not. Jamie Brandon, if they concentrate too much on stopping Selby and knowing where Rashard Griffith is, either on my
and education, which is Griffith, the 6'11" freshman.
Well, that makes up part of the Buffalo lineup that Landon Cox likes to call it. Two big guys, Griffith 6'11", Selby 6'6", 240 pounds, and he's been the player of the game so far.
And then off the rejection, here comes the patented Jaguar break. Jamie Brandon getting 2 of his 11 first-half points as he put on a show with the one-handed flying tomahawk. Meanwhile, for the Royals, we'll have scores thus.
He's only shooting 4 for 10 right now, too, so he's just really not in the groove.
McNulty looks inside, finds Phelps, takes it up with the left hand, follows it up, forces it up, was blocked on the top by Griffith. He just stood flat-footed and blocked him.
Well, when you're 6'11" and have a wingspan that big, it's very tough for a guard to get a putback on you.
And wait till he's 15 years old.
Here's Sharif missing from the outside, and somebody cleared out in the battle for the rebound.
You know, that's the frightening thing, because obviously when this kid came out of 8th grade, everybody in Chicago started to check his birth certificate and discovered that he really is that young.
You know, Jamie Brandon, Johnny Selby, Sharif, Schofield, they'll all be gone. But remember the name Tunji Thurman. He's only an 8th grader. He moved here from Indiana. Landon Cox will be the best point guard ever to play at King.
Brandon misses from the outside. Griffith the rebound. Not enough to get it in over the iron. And a whistle underneath. And looks like it was either Selby or Griffith in the battle for the rebound. Probably the big freshman.
Yeah, Rashard Griffith, one of his liabilities is when he gets an offensive rebound and tries to go back up with the ball, after he puts it on the glass, he leaves the scene. He doesn't stay with his shot. There it popped out for him, and he could have had another offensive rebound.
And that is the 3rd for the freshman. McNulty has it blocked right back at him by Griffith. The loose ball to Ahmad Sharif. Brandon throws it back out to Keith Johnson. Now Sharif on the wing. High posting it to Selby. Once again, 16-minute halves, a 45-second shot clock. Sharif way short from the corner. On the run, Khalid Reeves. Can't get the bounce. Not a good sign for the Royals. And a blocking foul as Brandon was breaking it down court. He was fouled by Hospodar.
Well, right now, that last set for King, and I think in the first half, Jamie Brandon might have put that ball up on the wing. Here, he threw it back out, and King ran a little bit of their offense and showed more patience, and I'm sure that's Landon Cox's doing in the locker room at halftime.
Second team foul for the Royals. 14:34 to go in the first half. Neither team yet to score in the second frame. Hospodar guarding Brandon, who pulls up over him and nails it. The basket will count. Should count, I should say, and then a foul looked to be.
I think they got Johnny Selby pushing.
After the shot, the bucket will count.
Selby gave a shove there trying to get better rebounding position and got caught.
He gets his second, the second team foul for the Jaguars, who lead now by 10.
What's the hold?
Oh, what a steal as Brandon just picked McNulty's pockets clean. Nearly stolen back by Hospodar. A stuff by Richard Griffith.
Great pass by Johnson. He saw him all the way down the lane and got it right to him.
See, that's what Keith Johnson gives this team. He's so unselfish. He doesn't have to score to be happy. He's just glad he's on the floor. He's got great players around him, and he got the ball to the guy who could do something with it.
Proof of that, he hasn't taken a shot tonight.
Hospodar misses the three, and Selby with the rebound. Hospodar with the steal. Anticipated well. And it's stolen right back by Johnson, and he is tripped up by Hospodar from behind. Hospodar will pick up his third foul. Brandon, what a pickpocket.
Brandon with such quick hands.
You know, on a high school level, I don't mean to compare him to Michael Jordan as a player, but on a high school level, he plays like that. He's got great hands. He can do so many things. He can go to 3 or 4 positions on the floor and have an impact.
Rich Viteri checks in for the first time, replacing Hospodar. And Schofield now comes in for King.
And problem for King because Johnson is hurt, obviously. He's hurt his knee. It's a sprain, obviously. He's in a little bit of pain on the bench. And that could hurt this offense, which just at this particular point looked like it was starting to get into its rhythm.
You know, guys, in a game like this, though, those little bumps and bruises, you don't feel until tomorrow morning because kids want to play against the best, and here's the opportunity.
And it looked like he came down hard, square on the kneecap on the deck. And on Brandon's drive, he is fouled. If that's Reed's, it's his fourth.
Jamie Brandon just told the official he's doing that all the time. Finally got the call on it. They're very keyed in, Christ the King, to knowing what Jamie Brandon could do, and that helps from that experience playing against each other in the summer camp.
It was on Phelps his first. A lob into Selby. It's blocked by Content. And then Brandon is fouled going to the hole.
Jamie very alert down there. Saw the shot go up. You'll watch Jamie Brandon here. Shot goes up. There you can see him on the backside coming right to the basket.
The thing that's so impressive about the Jaguars, the way they have just the numbers, the black jerseys crashing that boards, and if you get the deflection, the ball's bound to wind up, it seems like, in a Jaguar's hand.
You know, that's also very easy to do when you have big kids like this. Atlantic Cox can look down that bench. He sees kids that are 2 freshmen, 6'9". He's also got Damian Porter, who signed a Division I scholarship at Central Michigan.
Content picked up his 4th foul, by the way.
Going to say that's very key. 4 fouls on him, and if he has to sit down here, and it doesn't appear that Bob Oliva is.
I don't think he can afford to take him out right now.
No, doesn't.
Not down by 14 points. Brandon now with 15 in the ball game. On the wing, that's Rich Viteri. Back out it goes to Reeves. Reeves trying to get a quick step in there. Couldn't. Here's Viteri missing from the outside. On the weak side, rebounded Jamie Brandon. Brandon, no call as he was bumped by Viteri. Selby puts it across the heel of the rim, and a tip in by Brandon.
You know, Jamie Brandon's one of the few guys that can legitimately go up on the defensive boards, get it, and take it the length of the court and score with it.
The Jaguars threatening to bust this one wide open. Here's McNulty on the drive. He was fouled on the baseline as he went by Brandon.
The thing about Brandon, he's not having a good game shooting-wise out on the floor. Very frustrated by a lot of double teams, but he's going to the boards. He's got about 10 rebounds already. He's doing something else to help his team stay ahead here, doing whatever he can do. And right now it's rebounding because he's obviously frustrated out on the floor.
You know, that's what 4 years of starting on varsity will teach you. It gives you experience. You know what has to be done to help your team win if your shot's not dropping.
12.5 minutes to go in the first half.
The Sheridan Plaza Chicago steps off North Michigan Avenue's Magnificent Mile is eagerly
At Spears, no group is too large or too small. Spears, the official transportation company of the Windy City Classic. Taylor Bell, right now, I think the Royals are in danger. They got their big man in the middle in foul trouble, and they're 16 points down right now.
They need some instant offense.
They won't get on that. That shot is Viteri. And it bounced high off the iron, and it wound up on the backside of the backboard.
They're going to have to start putting on a lot more pressure.
It's a big trip for King here. If they show some patience and get a basket, they'll see the defensive pressure turned up.
And when he got the pass, Sylvester Ware, who came into the ball game at that timeout, was on the sideline. And so the Royals get a break. They get it right back. And if you see the Royals start jacking it up from three-point range, you know they're starting to scramble a bit. But Terry can't bank it in from three-point land. And Brandon controls the rebound. Now I'm starting to sense the Jaguars grabbing control of this basketball game.
Well, they haven't played a great game tonight yet. They're still up, what,
Schofield out of control.
Charge all the way. Schofield plowed right into Mike McNulty, who was standing there waiting for him.
King has got to be wary of no more showtime. That's David is aware of that. This is a problem that King sometimes get into, as other coaches know. They get a lead and they start to go play showtime, and yet they have the ability to jack it up another notch anytime they want. But this is not the time to start playing showtime.
Both teams are now in the bonus the rest of the way. We've got 11:40 to go in the second half. King leading 42-26. Selvey got the block on McMullen's shot attempt, and here come the Jaguars.
We said the last time down that they had to show some patience here and get a good shot. Schofield charges. Let's see what they do on this trip.
Ahmad Sharif dishing it down low, and foul from behind with Sylvester Ware as he went by McNulty.
Had a much better idea what they wanted to do on that trip. No question about that. They got the message.
They definitely got the message. There we see Schofield, I mean, just running somebody over. Down here, though, the penetration move under control. People come over, you just kick the ball to the open guy. It happened to be Ware.
Ware at the free throw line, 1 for 2 this evening, which accounts for his only points thus far in the contest. He'll get 2 at the charity stripe. Free throw shooting not good.
And it was not good last night, as you recall. King just not the concentration at the free throw line.
King 10 of 23 last night from the line.
He gets the bounce on that one as he's 2 of 4 from the line, and it's now a 43-26 lead for the Jaguars. Phelps, he's been quiet on the offensive end. He couldn't get that one to fall. And Selvey called for crashing on the boards.
Jaguar personal number 32, Sylvester Ware.
Oh, they call it on Ware, not Selvey. Ware gets his first. That would have been Selvey's third. It would have been very significant. Here comes Griffith back in the basketball game, replacing Sylvester Ware. Just think, public league schools, you've got 3 more years to face Rashard Griffith and company.
And company. The freshman class at King this year, he has 6'11", 6'9", 6'9", and 2 6'6" players. All can really play and all are on this varsity roster.
McMullen, the music man of this Christ the King team, he's appeared in some music videos that have been produced in New York City.
I'm sure he'd like to be singing tonight after the ball game.
Right now, the Royals are singing the blues. They trail by 16, 11 minutes to go in the ball game. Nauman out front on Keith Johnson. That's Brandon on the drive. Nice pull-up. Oh, he floats in the air so very well.
That's one of his favorite moves. Loves to come from the corner, cross the paint, take that jumper, and nobody, it's just unstoppable.
And going to his right, he's so tough off that right-handed dribble.
He has 19. A foul at the other end. Let's take a look once again. You talk about hang time normally with punts, not on driving guards like Jamie Brandon.
Well, there are shooters, there are scorers, and there are kids who, when they're shooters, can jump up over you. When the defenders are there and still make a shot, I said before, Jamie Brandon is the best guard to come out of the Chicago area since Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah's had a great pro career, but if we talk just high school, Jamie Brandon, in my opinion, may be better.
Yeah, 19 points.
Phelps missing the free throw, and
another rebound
by Jamie Brandon. Brandon for 3. He tried this move in the first round. That one wouldn't go, however. King by 18. Reeves drives and banks it in for 2.
That's their first basket, I believe, of the second half.
Up to that point, we've almost played 10 minutes, and they only had 1 point.
gentlemen, we have a timeout on the floor. Timeout, start, lose the team.
Let's take a look as the first field goal of this half on a drive for Khalid Reeves. Christ the King with only 3 points thus far in this half. With 10-11, they trail by the score of 45-29 here in the second half of the championship game of the Windy City Classic right here on Channel 5.
Up to the minute.
1 for 9 this second half and only 3 points in the first 6 minutes. That's right. You can't beat a team of this quality with that kind of shooting.
10 minutes to go. King by 16. And walking with the ball was Jamie Brandon. Last night in the semifinal game, as you see Coach Sonny Cox, King gave De La Salle many opportunities to get right back in the ball game, but the Meteors just didn't take advantage.
No, and they didn't shoot well either, of course. Neither team.
You know, Christ the King is a team that was losing at half yesterday. It came out with an 18-0 run.
Missing from the outside. Never saw a team like St. Monica's, a quality team, go so cold as it did in that ball game.
They couldn't buy a basket there.
Brandon throws it back out front to Sharif. Now Johnson down on the block to Selby. Triple team, muscles it up, follows it up a second time. And it comes down to Nauman. Reeves pulls it up. A one-hander good. A pretty move by Khalid Reeves.
As David said earlier, that kind of player, he's just has an offensive mentality. Finds a way of getting the ball to the basket.
You know, with 3 fouls on Griffith, I think he does not want to come out of the ball game with 4, and he has become passive in there.
King by 14, 9 minutes to go. Johnson drives down the middle, and as he passed it off, he slammed into McNulty. It's going to go against King. It's going to go on Johnson when he did collide with McNulty, who had been waiting there for him.
2 officials had a disagreement.
Excellent call. Excellent call.
But I think the 2 officials disagreed. One was going to call a charge, and the other was calling on the defense.
Look at the replay. I don't know how you can call it on the defense. He had been sitting there for quite a while.
No doubt. A great call. Just another example of King not showing some patience offensively.
Look at Christ the King. They were in the ball game with 4 minutes left to go in the first half. Since then, they've been outscored decisively. McNulty hits the free throw, his first free throw attempt of the game. He now has 3 points, and that's right at his tournament average. Came into the tournament championship game with 21 total rebounds. And Johnny Selby off the free throw miss.
Well, that's 17 rebounds for Selby, and we talked about Content and McNulty, and they've got 5 rebounds between them. We know where the key factor here for King tonight.
Sharif just avoids a 5-second call. Brandon throws it back out front to Schofield, who runs it from the point. 8.5 minutes to go. The lob down to Griffith. Oh, that's easy.
Well, when Rashard Griffith gets positioned down low, put it in the books, it's over.
On a play like that, the pass is 90% of it.
And we talked earlier, he doesn't bring the ball down to the paint as so many young kids do. It's a textbook move.
Thrown away by the Royals. Take a look. Look at the great lob over the top of Reeves, taking advantage of that height mismatch.
And no dribble by Rashard Griffith. A lot of kids, as we said, take a dribble there. Griffith pumped it and got it up on the glass.
You put that ball to the floor, you're asking for trouble every time, especially with quick hands like the ones owned by Christ the King, Khalid Reeves, and Derek Phelps and company.
And veteran guys who know how to make a steal.
8:11 to go. The Jaguars of King with the ball leading 47-32. Pull up for Sharif. He nails it. He has 8.
Most underrated player in the Chicago area is Ahmad Sharif. You put him on a team that doesn't have much in the way of talent, everyone would know who he is.
Nauman is open from the outside, and he nails a 3-pointer. He has 6 on a pair from 3-point land. But the Royals are going to have to pick up the pace shooting-wise at the offensive end and really put some pressure defensively on the Jaguars. Brandon wheels into the lane, slapped away by Phelps. Here's Reeves. Over to Phelps. Looking for Reeves. Deflected momentarily by Sharif. And then trying to track it down, but running out of room was Khalid Reeves.
Now, in that situation, Derek Phelps was the guy who had the basketball. If he had the scorer's mentality Reeves does, he wouldn't have given it back up and would have taken it to the basket. There, it was just the wrong place at the wrong time.
He's just got 2 baskets tonight. I'm a little surprised Phelps isn't more of a contributor tonight.
Just over 7 minutes left to go in the championship game. Along the lane, Selvey. Short on the turnaround, Jay. Phelps on the rebound. Phelps looking over the court, finds Reeves down the middle, and it's slapped away as he took it to the backboard.
Well, we talked in the pregame that Reeves was going to try to take the ball to the basket a lot, and that King's size advantage and quickness was going to cause him problems, and right there it was evident.
With 7:03 to go, in comes Sherwin Content, the 6'6" senior center for Christ the King, playing with 4 personal fouls. The Royals down 49-35. McNulty to the hoop. Nice move with the right hand. Just couldn't get it to fall. 2-on-1 break. Brandon had it stolen away by Phelps. No held ball, no traveling, no call. Reeves in deep. Walked for the basketball.
Now Reeves is showing a great deal of frustration, trying to do everything to get his team back.
No walk, we do have a foul. Lute Olson saw him 5 times. He had to have him. We've got a break in the action, 6:37.
Dean Smith has to...
And Christ the King is still someone in the game despite the fact they're shooting miserably in the second half. This is a real crucial time for the Royals. King with the ball, a 12-point lead. If the Royals can somehow get the deficit to single digits, they're back in the game. They're picking up the defensive tempo. Selvey lost the handle, and Reeves comes away with it. To Phelps in midair, and it's going to be goal.
That great ability with their...
First foul of the night for Porter. Very good opportunity that time on the offensive boards for the Royals to get a reverse 3-point play.
And they can get it down to 7 points with still 6 minutes to play. Very much a basketball game.
Reeves now 3 of 5 from the line with 19 points in the game. Bob Oliva realizes with lots of time left, 6:06, it's now a 7-point basketball game at 49-42. Full court pressure by Christ the King. Schofield now leaves it for Keith Johnson.
Guess who they're going to go to?
There he is. Brandon's fouled. It'll count. He'll go to the line.
That's why Jamie Brandon is one of the top 5 players in the country, and in my way of thinking, maybe the best player in the country when he has the basketball in his hands.
Phelps gets his second. You can see him turn around and say, who's that call out? No, not me.
It was like they put a sign up in the middle of the gym. Brandon is going to get the ball. He is going to the basket. Everybody knew it.
Well, this is an arena, Taylor, you're familiar with it, that Jamie's had great success in.
The Brandon Reeves show, isn't this where we came?
The thing.
Exactly.
A 7-point game with 5:43 left to go.
That clock isn't moving fast enough for Landon Cox.
Johnson finds Brandon cutting down the lane. Sharif kept it alive. Brandon's fouled underneath.
Yes. Is that what you...
Well, he's got 3 3-pointers, and he's gonna keep taking them.
I asked Bob Oliva yesterday what would he do to change his game plan to combat King. He said, I'm not going to change anything. I've got the 7th best team in the country. We're going to play our game.
Brandon, but on the offensive board, Damian Porter. Under 5 minutes. We talked earlier, if King could get it in single digits with less than 5 minutes to go, they'd be in. They've done better than that.
But we're also seeing why they're the 7th ranked team in the country. Good teams have ways.
Griffith missed. The battle for the basket.
And into it physically.
Brandon on Phelps. What a pair of guards there. He lost the ball.
Lost control. Lost control.
Hospodar clears it out. Nauman to Reeves, who's fouled. Reeves now 7. Now he drives well, gives to Selvey.
Down at Quincy, they had a very tough game too. So these kids know what pressure is like.
That's one thing you can say about Landon Cox. He is not afraid to play anyone, anywhere. He takes his team on the road. He plays the best here in Chicago, and that is why his teams are always ready to play come tournament time.
But let me ask you, David, do you think they're a little bit out of control? Shouldn't they be taking a little more time off that clock than they are right now?
Well,
or should they keep it up?
I agree with you that they are out of control. Well, King has such a nose for the ball. They saw that shot go up, and right away they react to it.
Norman's been attracting a lot of attention the last couple of trips down. Sharif into Griffith, and as he made the turnaround, high off the glass, no good. And the muscle rebound for Jamie Brandon.
He's got 14 rebounds. Not bad for a guard or forward.
Oh my God! Brandon flies and scores, cutting through the lane to his left.
Well, his perimeter shot is not there right now, but he is doing a tremendous job getting into a scoring area and then making something happen.
Big bucket as King leads by 8, but at the other end, another reach-in foul. Keith Johnson trying to get away from Derek Phelps.
A mistake there, and that's the last thing Sonny Cox wants, is a stoppage of play at this particular point.
To stop the clock and allow your opponent to narrow the gap on you without that clock moving.
And they're hitting.
The Jaguars turn it over. Sitting back in the zone defense. Reeves penetrates, scores, count it, and he's fouled by Selvey. Oh my, what a play. He found that seam in that zone, cut in from the right of the lane, and took it to the hole.
Well, that's where he makes a living. He's a slasher. He finds the gaps in the defense, makes things happen, and we said before, scorer's mentality. He gets the shot up among the timbers.
And you see 4 fouls now on Selvey. 3-point play, free throw, good for Reeves. It's now a 3-point game at 58-55.
Guess who's going to get the ball and take the shot on this trip down the court?
I wonder, Taylor.
And Christ the King is
in terms of raw talent, but he likes his 86 state championship team. He said they didn't make mistakes. This team makes the little errors that can cause you problems, and we're seeing examples of that tonight.
Phelps got the foul, his third. Oh, another great opportunity for Christ the King as Brandon is now 7 of 10 from the line. Reeves threw it behind Hospodarek, who gets it in the corner.
Free throw shooting is a real Achilles heel for
Derek, right to him. He's down in the uniform. Okay, show up the front. Come on, we're good. Come on, man. They're choking.
Talk about a different atmosphere in each of the huddles. And you hear Oliva's New York action. That sounds like basketball, doesn't it?
Well, Bob Oliva there, the kids are fired up. He said, hey, we're in a good situation right now. They're back in the game. It's a 3-point game with 2 minutes to play. He's got 2 kids who can score, especially one in Reeves, but Phelps has that opportunity. King over there, quiet, and they're listening to Sonny Cox try and get him out of the jam.
And they're doing it without their center, Content, who is fouled out. The Royals could tie. We're under 2 minutes. King leads by 3. The Jaguars still sitting back in the zone. Actually, they have a chaser now on Reeves. They've got Sharif on Reeves. McNulty went to the baseline. And that's a big, big turnover for Christ the King.
Well, I'd love to see that again. I don't know about that call.
And we have the luxury of looking at it again, we hope. Oh, I guess not. I would like to see that one again. 1:40 left. King by 3. Sharif. And they're
That's senior leadership, stepping up and saying, hey, tough time, I'm going to knock him down. Lead by example.
You saw the situation. A 5-point game, under a minute and a half left to go in the championship game.
They're screening to get Reeves the ball. That's what they want.
I was about to say he'd been quiet for a while. Finds Nauman. He is hammered. He got...
Damian Porter.
Reed, a great steal, and he got it to fall.
Down
he
to
has
2.
28. It's a 2-point game at 60-58.
We're under a minute.
Sharif. And there's a reach-in foul as Phelps fouls Jamie Brandon.
Well, Landon Cox is irate there because his kids are playing tentative. They're trying not.
Left to go.
Christ the King to take advantage of that and get back into this ball game.
You know, last year Christ the King had the luxury of playing with an outstanding big man, Jamal Faulkner, who signed at Pittsburgh, will now go to Arizona State because he was a Prop 48 casualty. They're finding out now, without the big guy, that the guards are probably in high school the most important part of the game.
Two very big free throw opportunities here.
And he gets the bounce. Brandon can breathe again, and so can Sonny Cox. It's now a 3-point game. You can't quite breathe yet.
Well, that one not going down. I think we'll see all net here for Jamie Brandon.
No.
Selby again with a rebound.
And he scores.
Microcosm of the game, gentlemen.
What a big offensive stick back for Johnny Selby.
22 rebounds.
Microcosm of the game all night long.
And Khalid Reeves caught an elbow in the throat. He is really shaken up. He can't get his breath. Watch it again. He is having trouble right now catching his breath. Right there. On Selby's rebound, he caught him with the left elbow.
Great positioning by Selby. He's just a horse under there.
Reeves is really struggling to breathe. He caught that elbow straight on the Adam's apple.
Quick ex-coach Kaplan, what's the rule here? They certainly don't want to have him go out of the game, but do we have an injury situation that's going to force him out of the ball game?
And Reeves is really in trouble.
Well, that's Father John Savage over there from Christ the King. He's the athletic director and a guy these kids really turn to. He went right over there to help Khalid Reeves. And
right of your screen. Selby step in. Oh, and it's totally unintentional. But solid contact, that elbow, that forearm there of Johnny Selby, who is a very strong basketball player, right to the throat of Khalid Reeves.
Well, Khalid Reeves is a thoroughbred. He's a kid who's qualified academically. He's an outstanding basketball player, a great young man. I had a chance to talk with him for a while yesterday. It doesn't surprise me that he comes right back into this basketball game. That's what he...
Fake Sharif in the air, and it won't...
Another 60 seconds. Unless they took him out of the game.
Coach Cox irate for the foul on the three-point attempt.
Reeves with 28. He fakes Sharif into the air, gets him airborne. Sharif comes down as Reeves was clearly in three-point land.
And if you're going to foul there, Ahmad Sharif should know better. He's a senior. He better make sure that that shot doesn't get up like that. It was a touch foul.
He gets one more free throw.
And as you say, it could have been a 4-point play. As it is, it's 2.
He gets 2 out of 3. It's a 3-point game with 31 seconds to go.
Biggest series sequence for King this whole game.
Christ the King can't wait too long to foul either. Brandon has it across the timeline. Now he's fouled. Khalid Reeves with the foul.
That should be Khalid Reeves' 4th foul.
Right.
24 seconds left, as you see, in the points in the ball game.
This is what we came to see, isn't it?
Two great teams taking it right down to the wire. This is exactly what the promoters of this inaugural tournament wanted. Missed free throw. Phelps the rebound. Out it goes to Reeves. 18 seconds. Reeves for three. Off the hill.
Brandon with the board.
Brandon the rebound.
Luther King, he has not performed well, especially at the free throw line. He's got big numbers, but has not played a stellar basketball game tonight in terms of his offensive capabilities. He wanted to come out and show a national crowd that he could get 40, 45 points on a great team.
Well, he's got 27 points and about 15 rebounds, but it's sort of been a little bit quiet, I guess.
They've been frustrating points for Jamie.
Very frustrating.
I've seen him get 50 points. This was not the kind of night that he hoped to have.
I remember you said that.
Yeah, I remember that too. With 12 seconds to go and that three-point shot, and guys like Khalid Reeves, it's never over till it's over.
All right, we'll see.
They need this.
They get it. A 5-point lead.
But they can't foul.
And very nearly over and back. Here's Phelps for three. Yes! 4 seconds. We have been announced, we've been handed now the MCI All-Tournament team for the Windy City Classic. On the team, Simeon's Baliga Pryor, who had an outstanding tournament, 83 points in making the All-Tournament team. Other members of the All-Tournament team include Derek Phelps of Christ the King, Aminu Timberlake of De La Salle. There you see Derek Phelps on the All-Tournament team for the Windy City Classic. Also on the All-Tournament team, Aminu Timberlake, who really grew and emerged in this tournament. De La Salle had a great tournament. Also on the All-Tournament team, from King, Johnny Selby, the leading rebounder in the public league each of the last 3 years, and a big key here in King's 65-63 lead. And of course, Jamie Brandon, who will be All-America before this year is out. And the MVP, Khalid Reeves of...
It shows you how outstanding a person he is. Sean Elliott with the Spurs came in town yesterday just to talk with him.
They foul Damian Porter just as he gets the basketball.
Brandon made a 30-footer to get to the city finals last year, so it's not over.
2 seconds left to go. King by 2. Of course, Christ the King has time to make the substitution. Chris Spiteri, number 41, the 6'3 sophomore, a member of the New York City Freshman Championship team of Christ the King a year ago, was the MVP of the All-City team a year ago, comes in. Jaguars up on the line, and Porter puts it in.
He never made a bigger point in his life.
It's a 3-point lead, and this will ice it.
Landon Cox yelling, no fouls, no fouls.
Just stand and watch.
67-63. It'll be King's ball off the hand of... Is the final. So the Jaguars win it. The #1 team in the nation remains unbeaten at 12-0. We'll be back with a recap from the UIC Pavilion.